Get away. You get a good job with pay and you're okay. But once you invest, you make more money. Grab that cash with both hands and make cash. Think I'll buy my football team. I'm alright, Jack. Keep your hands off my stack. It's a hit. Don't give me that goodly good bullshit. It's high fidelity at the first class traveling set. I think I need a Learjet. Money! Make money! Ha-hoo! 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 It's the root of all evil today. But if you ask for a raise, it's no surprise they give you none away.
Jimmy, you're gonna have an absolutely hellish time editing this. Where?
Why does anyone do anything? Money!
Jimmy, put these in the intro.
Hello, welcome back to the McEwan Brothers podcast. My name's Jamie.
My name's Gregor.
My name's Calum.
And welcome to a special episode with all three brothers on the McEwan Brother podcast. We'd like a warm welcome to our oldest brother, Calum, who's on the other side of the world, down in Australia. Do you want to say hello? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Calum, and what you're doing.
Woo! Yeah! Glad to be on.
That is the energy we need.
I feel like I've been a left out brother who I've watched your previous ones and I've had very little mentions of myself. I don't even think I've heard my name mentioned before in your podcast, so I feel like this is truly you guys are proceeding forward on a better path, where not only have you mentioned my name, you've actually got me on the show. So,
we needed to build up a little following. We've got 3 followers now, and we wanted to get you on when we had a decent following. So welcome, and we're glad to have you on These Nuts, as your Zoom name implies.
I try my best, Like sometimes it doesn't come to everyone, but it comes to me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, Calum, obviously on the previous episodes, we've talked a little bit about myself, had a little bit of talk about what I'm doing, the now, future and stuff. Talked about Gregor, what he's up to in Edinburgh and stuff. Can you give our audience a bit of a background of where you are in Australia and what you're currently doing?
So,
did you just fart?
I get to the man. Is that going to get cut out or is that going to be in the final edit?
Jamie's editing it this week, so we'll see if it makes it cut.
I'll see.
Okay. So basically, where did I start from? Like when I first arrived in Australia, why I'm here?
Just tell us, why you're there and what you're currently doing.
So basically, I studied in Aberdeen and I was working as a ski instructor there in the UK. And I always wanted to do a ski season like away abroad, so I chose to go and do it in Japan. So 2018 in November, I went out to Japan to do a ski season in Niseko, which is up in like the North Island of Japan. And then up there, like the snow just gets like probably head height at the start of the season, and it just keeps going up and up and up, which is just like for deep powder snow, it's absolutely amazing. Like you can't beat it. That's where I met Jennifer, who is an Australian, and she was working there at the same time. We started dating, going out. After Japan, we went to Philippines for a month of traveling. And from there, I went back to the UK to save up for my visa for Australia, and Jen went back home to Sydney. Once I got my visa and I saved up my money, I went to Australia and met Jen in Sydney, where we lived there for a couple of months. And then we moved up to the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, which is maybe 8-10 hour drive from where we originally were. Lived there maybe a couple months before the pandemic hit. So we were basically beachside, quiet town when the pandemic hit, and we were able to go out every day, and it's great. Like, couldn't pick a better place to have it. then probably September time we moved back down to Sydney with Jen's mum's, her house there in like for people who know Sydney, it's in the Hills District. For people who don't know Sydney, Sydney is basically got the same population as Scotland. So when you say you're from Sydney, it's kind of saying I'm from Scotland. Like there's loads of different areas you can be living in. Eventually, I'm getting a job for a company called Harness Master as a graduate engineer, where we now live in Rutherford, which is 2 hours north of Sydney, near Newcastle.
Do you know what? That is the first time I've heard you have like a summary of like what you've done in the like last 2 years. It's actually really quite nice. Because obviously we just get like the week on week, oh, I'm doing this, I'm going here, I'm going there. It's actually quite nice to like, oh, this is what you've actually done in a timeline view. And to me, it's like you've gone all over the place and done so much. So yeah, that was quite cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, the thing is, when you sound like a foreigner in a country where foreigners are not allowed to travel in, everyone asks you, why are you here? So you get very good at telling them why you're here.
So people are asking you?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Right.
if I go to, like, if I'm out casually and they hear my accent, they're like, oh, how did you get in? I was like, oh, I've been here for 2 years. My partner's Australian. So that's the very short version.
Right, okay. Cool. That was very succinct.
The fun version is I met an Australian on the bus in Japan, and we've been together ever since.
I could have just said that. Is that what you said, people?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Jen, she lived in Canada for 4 years. Basically grew up in Sydney, and when she was, I think, 19, moved to Canada for 4 years to live like away from her family and to get like life experience. So she's got a really fucked up accent where it sounds slightly Australian, sounds more Canadian. It's got a slight hint of New Zealand in there, and being with me, she keeps doing impersonations of me, so it sounds like a terrible Scottish accent as well. So she's all over the joint. Like we were out in Sunshine Coast, and people would ask us, "Oh, where are you guys from?" And I'll say I'm from Scotland, and they'll look at Jen and be like, "Where are you from?" And Jen would be like, "I'm from Australia." She goes, "Yeah, but like before that, like she's like, I was born in Australia."
Wow. Do you think if she comes to Scotland, she'll fit right in with the accent run?
Nah, like she's been to Scotland before, and she went to Glasgow, and she couldn't understand what anyone said. Like she had a little like ticket from the bus, and whenever she wanted to go back to where she's from, she'd have to show the bus driver or like a local person, be like, "How did I get here?" And then it'd be complete gibberish, but she'll see persons pointing their hands, so she knows to go in that direction.
It's like a foreign country, but you're speaking English.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think slang is so much. There's so much slang in Scotland that it's just, especially Glasgow, couldn't be any worse.
Yeah. Well, recently we've just had like heavy rains here, where everything floods. Which for me, the flooding here, like the rainfall, was just like normal Scottish weather, but everything got like completely flooded, and I was like, oh, it's a bit drookit outside, isn't it? And then Sarah, one of the girls at work, looked at me and went, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Drookit." She was like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Look outside, that's drookit. Like it's wet, it's heavy rain." And I realized that all the places that flooded, that turned into lakes and big massive ponds in Australia, in Scotland, they're just ponds all the time. Like if we had the Australian weather, those ponds would actually be places people go for hikes, and it'd be farmland, which I thought was quite funny.
Right.
I think about Gatmore Dam, that would just be a big open field, but because we get so much rain, it's a dam.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how they're made. But yeah, no, that's interesting. Jamie, you want to crack on?
Well, actually, I was going to go on the top of that. What do you, I have to say, something I never thought would happen to either of us. I thought we would maybe go away for a period of time, but I never thought one of our brothers would end up other side of the world and actually move there, really live there. I always thought like Calum, I thought you would do something, and I thought one of us would go somewhere, but other side of the world, man. That's so like trying to get there at any point to go see you is so difficult, especially even now.
Yeah. but I moved the opposite side of the world to another English-speaking country.
That's
Like if I
all-
moved
Yeah.
to another piece of the world where it's like they don't speak English and the culture is completely different, I'd be like, okay, this is weird. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
But it's another English-speaking country that we are part of. Literally, the UK flag is on the Australian flag.
Yeah.
you feel like
Like
True.
there's a few differences, but it's not like I've gone to a foreign country, but it's not like a foreign place. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, that makes sense. It's just so far away. We were talking about it last night.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're like, oh, when's the last time? Like, obviously, my flatmates like, when's the last time you seen your brother? I was like, oh, shit, like 2 years ago. And they're like, yeah. And I mean, like, lockdown hasn't helped or anything like that. But yeah, it's quite funny just talking about like New Zealand and Australia and how far away it is. Yeah, they're just like,
Well, it's only 24 hours on the flight.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
But compared to
So-
everywhere else,
I'm 1 day away.
It's
Probably
a
goes to-
minimum. It's a minimum of a couple of grand to go
Yeah,
there.
that's probably the biggest problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
probably.
mean, at the
Yeah.
moment, if you guys wanted to fly here, you'll probably be paying £2,000 for a flight, and then you'll probably be paying £1,500 for hotel quarantine.
Yeah. Right now,
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, okay,
definitely.
so let's move this on. That was good. So we normally talk a wee bit about our week and how it's gone. Jamie, you've had quite an exciting week, haven't you?
In terms of
You look shocked like you haven't had one.
yeah, I'm like, how have I had an exciting week? How?
It's your job stuff. And then uni.
Yeah, so my week's been a bit all over the place. Starting obviously Gregor, who currently works with Uber Eats and got a job through Pareto Law, a company that basically helps you try and get jobs through into sales. And I've gone through the same route Gregor recommended me. I'm going through that same progress. So had my telephone interview, made it through, and I have an assessment centre day on the 7th of this month, which I'm kind of like looking forward to, but nervous about as well. But yeah, so that's quite exciting. That's going on. Coming to the end of my uni as well. I'm actually on the final legs of my dissertation, so feeling quite good about that because it's all coming together now, and it's feeling, you know, it's not just tons of wee bits. It's a pretty solid piece of paper. That's all together.
Piece of paper. That's what you mean.
You know what I mean? And yeah, so it's been an alright week. I'm trying to do for one of my modules that I need to be doing more exercise because it's managing change module, it's about personal change. So I've actually gone out and gone a couple of runs this week already, which has been quite good. Quite enjoyed that. Good length ones as well, half an hour, 40 minutes. So yeah, feeling good stuff.
Cool.
What about yourself, Gregor? How's your week been? What you been up to?
Cool. Yeah, it's been alright. Busy with work, cracking on with that. Yeah, it's just kind of normal week for me. A few cycles and cracking on with the usual biz. But I'm excited for this weekend. Finally getting to play golf as the golf course opens up. First medal. I finally paid my membership, and as soon as I paid it, I emailed the club secretary right away, or admin team, and they're like, "Oh, I've just paid. Am I still okay to play the medal?" And then I got an email almost right away back being like, "Yeah, you're fine. Grand. Play well." And I was like, "Oh," because I thought maybe it was too late to kind of enter or anything, but no, it's fine.
When did you do that? Did you do that now? Like,
No, I done it.
When did you?
It would have been Wednesday. Today's Friday, so why? I left it like the last minute. I think. I know.
So I just to let you know, obviously me, my dad and Gregor play golf regularly. We're both keen golfers, but membership was asked in December, and you could have paid in December and got a wee extra bonus for your bar tab, a wee bit extra money in there and stuff like that. And I just went, I pay it, but obviously Gregor being in Edinburgh, stingy bastard he is, and not really sure what he wanted to do, wasn't paying for it, so got his dad to pay for it. Unbelievable.
I'll pay for it. What do you mean? What do you mean? Dad paid for it?
Plus,
Yeah.
Jamie, isn't that the dream? Isn't that the point of like being a hustler? You get somebody else to pay for it.
Here,
Maybe not your dad. But I didn't pay for it. It was my money.
I know what sent you.
Yeah, but that's for golf clubs,
Aye.
which I'll use in the membership. Right, Calum, how's your week been? What's the score there?
It's been hectic at work, just full on with how things are getting done because we're doing a complete overhaul of the IT system. Instead of using normal Windows Explorer for like finding files and documents, we're using a one called M files, which is basically everything gets put into one big folder and you search for stuff with tags. So say if you got a project, you search that project and you want the files for the project, you search like your drawings and it'll come up. So everything's in one place, but you have to like tag everything in the right way. We're also changing how the process gets done from like initial quote to end product, and then developing our service quoting tool as well, like our workflow for that. In addition, doing other jobs for clients, like getting drawings made, getting quotes out, making sure we get our new boards coming in as well, like PCB boards that we're making and selling. Huge margin on them, which is unbelievable. I suppose that covers my wage, which I'm happy with. But yeah, it's just been busy. I don't know how much I can talk about. Like, is this going to go public to everyone?
Well, it's going on our Spotify and stuff, so just
It goes,
keep it at that.
yeah, it goes to about 3 people and 49 listeners over the last 8 weeks. So I've watched what you say on this.
Yeah.
There's
Well, I don't want to say the wrong thing in case my boss is listening, you know?
If you share it, you might get. Actually, can you please share it? Some extra listening, right? Grand. So let's kick off the next stage, Calum. So we're trying to like do stuff new in this podcast, and we're trying to split the podcast up into different sections rather than just like one loop. But between the sections, we need like a almost like a prelogue or like a little interlude. Can you provide that for us?
An interlude?
So we normally put maybe like a wee music tune or something in, or something. You've got introduce the next section, but jazz it up, make it fun, make it exciting.
So obviously
our next section is going to be.
What's the next section?
I told you at the start. We're going to do the challenge.
Oh, the challenge. Okay.
Right. Go for it.
So, our dad gave us a challenge. He's given us 1K. What we've got to do is to make the most money. The game is, you got to invest. Play the game. Got to win. Who can make the most? Do, 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 do.
I think you nailed that. That was good.
You guys can edit that and make it look better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so
so
funny. Thank you, Calum, for that great intro to part 2 of our episode on our 1K challenge. Let's get started into it. Gregor, do you want to start us off?
Sure. So as Calum gave the delightful intro, we have been set by our dad. I don't know about, well, for me it's a surprise. Jamie, obviously not a surprise for you, but Calum, maybe you found that a surprise too. But dad set up like a WhatsApp chat with April Fool's 1K challenge, and obviously thinking it's just April Fool's. On the 1st of April, he said he's going to send money to our account, and it's going to be £1,000, and you get a year to turn that money into more money by investing it or doing whatever you want with it to make more money. And whoever wins is, whoever has the most money at the end of the year is a winner. But all the money you make, you're splitting it 50-50 with dad at the end of the year. So there's an incentive to make money, but there's also an incentive not to just throw it in a bank, because he's going to charge the inflation rate. So if you get 1% in a bank, inflation 3%, he's going to take basically £30 off. If you get 1%, you get £10. So you're actually down £20. But the advantage for us would be that any money lost is actually not our money. So it's an interesting challenge in that way, that it's not our money to lose. And 3 of us are going to be doing it. It's going to be quite good, I think, just to bounce ideas off each other, see what we're all doing. So now we want to get onto the topic of what we're all doing with this money. Now, there is a WhatsApp chat where we're supposed to share our information in, which our dad has created. And Jamie, do you want to like give a bit about our side chat that we started and then how that kind of backfired?
Yeah, so obviously we've got brothers group chat, the three of us. We talk on things about different things that we're doing, and we decided there was a conversation about obviously what was going on with the challenge, who was doing what, trying to do that just between the three of us. I ended up talking to Dad, sitting in the sitting room, both watching telly, chilling, and I was like looking at the chat, thinking through it and stuff. Started to talk to Dad about it and just be like, oh, Gregor's thinking this, Calum's thinking that, and stuff like that. And then Dad took it on himself to go, hold on, I'm giving you the money. I want to know exactly every fucking thing that goes on in the whole thing. And basically sent a chat message saying that anything you do needs to be talked about in the chat. You can't keep anything secret. It all needs to be shown, and then we went through the rules talking about basically if you're using a vehicle, do you have to fuel, do you have to what sort of things, expenses do you have to take into consideration for your challenge?
Yeah, it's pretty much everything. So every kind of cost you have to put in. But I think Cam, you were posting in our chat on Messenger, being like, "Oh, what's everything else doing?" And then Jamie put in the last section, like, "Oh, what did you say about Dad?"
Oh, Dad screenshotted it.
Yeah.
Calum screenshotted. Is this the one? Yeah. So Calum screenshotted it in, and then I just thought, well, while he screenshot it, I may as well add something so he could screenshot it so Dad could see it. And I just put Dad's a wanker.
Yeah. When I did the screenshot, I made sure that because I started the conversation, I made sure that wasn't in the screenshot. So I was like, I'll get in first to make myself look good.
The thing is, you made yourself look bad because you started the conversation outside of our main WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So end of the day, we're all going to talk about it. We're going to go on to doing it and stuff.
What?
And it's currently second.
Yeah, Cam, were you like surprised at the challenge that Dad set up? Did you know that was coming?
What?
Were you surprised that the challenge was coming?
Yeah. Why were you guys?
I didn't expect it.
Yeah, right.
So I've actually got a wee bit of a funny story to do with the actual challenge in the first hand. So me and Dad one night were sitting in the family room, chilling, having a couple of drinks. I was having a couple of drinks, sitting chatting and stuff about different things, and we were talking about investments and things. And I was like, oh, it'd be good to do like a wee challenge or something, And Dad was like, oh, we could do like £1,000, and you could all get £1,000, and we'd do that and stuff. And I was like, oh, you don't need to do that much, just do like £100. So we had this conversation, didn't think much of it, thinking like obviously nothing's gonna come from it. And we ended up going on to the next couple of nights later, and Dad goes, oh, I couldn't sleep last night. I kept just thinking about doing £1,000 challenge for the boys, and give you all £1,000, and who could do the challenge. And I went, do you think you spent last night thinking, late at night, being like coming up with this idea? And he was like, I just came on. Do you remember our conversation 2 nights ago? And he goes, nope, not a clue.
Was he?
This
Was
idea
he a few drinks?
beforehand. And he came up with it. He had a couple of drinks, and no idea that we'd discussed this. And so I had a good laugh, going like, obviously, clearly had no idea that we'd discussed it beforehand, but I think I'm really glad it's gone through and actually the ideas came through and we're doing it. So
yeah. I thought about even just to manage everything, I'm going to set maybe up a sole trader bank account and just use that so everything's closely monitored rather than just mix them with everything else. Calum, what's your rundown? What do you have an idea? What's your plan?
Well, I've had a few ideas. First idea was just chucking it straight into stocks, but my thought was that I'm already doing that with my own money because I know it's a safe bet. Like if you do research, you can get a good company. But I decided to go against that. I want to do something I can do practically, like actually start more of a business for myself and learn from that, considering it's free money. I don't have to worry if I lose out or do anything with it. So one idea that came to me was you getting like an SLA 3D printer, which is basically, you can imagine the printers that have a liquid bath, and it can create ultra smooth prints from it. Because I know instantly, my work's already spending $50 on 2 parts every so often when we get this harness in. So at least if I get that once a month, that's at least $50 a month coming in. But the printer I was looking for is like $1,000. There is cheaper ones out there, but I was looking for the large format one. And there is options of going around other businesses within Maitland and Newcastle and being like, this is service I can provide. This is what we can make. Just let me know if there's anything you want done. The only concern I have with that one is the amount of time it would require, and just getting it started. The other one I had thought about was getting a pressure washer, and either going around and cleaning people's driveways or doing gutters, or even one I thought this morning was just even having it out for hire. And I found that if you have a product you want to do for hiring, if you divide it by 52, all you have to do is have it rented out 1 day per week for the whole year, and you've made your money back. Which I thought, oh, that's quite a good idea. Then I worked it out for the pressure washer I was looking at, and it turns out it was like $20 a day, and I was like, that's pretty cheap. Like that's a price where somebody says $20 a day, I can borrow your pressure washer. That's like, all right, give it to me.
Yeah.
And I figured at that price you could probably be like you can say, oh, I'll book it for several days. Another one was the woodworking. So I've already got a garage for like small woodworking stuff, and I'm planning to building furniture. But my biggest problem is that I'm trying to build a jointer, which basically means that if you've got a piece of wood, it means one side and the side next to it are perfectly 90 degrees and like smooth. I'm building one, but the width of the blade is maybe like this much, and it doesn't, if you have a board wider than that, it's not going to be any use. So Cabertech is a manufacturer of jointers, and they have one for $900. And if I was to get that, it would really just like kick it off. Mind you, I'm talking in dollars, and £1,000 is equivalent to $1,800. So that's basically me spending like £500 on a jointer, and I'll be left with 500 left over.
Well, seems expensive for what it is, but I guess if it makes you more money.
Well, it's the top end of the bench top jointers. Mm-hmm. If you want to spend more than that, you're looking for big industrial ones which go into the thousands. And I wanted to get one with a spiral head, which means instead of having two like really big long blades, it's got tiny little tungsten teeth on it, which spin around and cut the woods, which lasts a lot longer and provides a better cut. Just wait there a second, the phone's about to die.
Interesting. You look knackered, Jimmy.
I look tired.
You're like this, and then
I'm a bit tired.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
That's better. And I'm kind of leaning more towards getting the jointer, because I know it'll be something I would instantly use, and I've already got a lot of the woodworking stuff here. Then it would be, I feel like renting out the pressure washer. I've only seen one person on Facebook Markets who are also renting out a pressure washer. So I don't know if it's just like if there's not enough business for it, there's only one, or if he's got all the business and he's competition. But we're also going into winter in Australia, so it's kind of like, are people going to be using it as well? I know I'll be using it, but there is the option of going around places and offering your services with the pressure washer, not only just renting it out.
Yeah. And in terms of your woodwork, what sort of stuff would you build?
It'd be mostly furniture at the moment. Like one thing I want to build right now is a French cleat wall, which is basically, imagine you've got a wall filled with like wooden slats. On each slat, there's a angled piece. So you put your work order on the top and it holds it in place. And you can just move them about. It's very modular, which is something I would want to build for myself. And if I can do that well, probably could do it for other people.
Is that like shelves?
Pardon?
Is that for like shelves? No.
No.
Like the angle you put something in it. It's like.
No, if you just Google French cleat wall, you'll get a very good description, better than what I can describe.
Cool.
And if you look here, Jamie would put up a picture of a French cleat wall. And if you look here, he'll show you another picture of it. And if you look here, he'll show you a link to a French cleat wall manufacturer.
Aye.
Right. Jamie, are you gonna have time to edit this?
What are you typing?
I'm trying to type what a French cleat wall is. Oh, I
Okay.
see. Yeah. For like all your tools and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Nice.
That's cool. So when are you getting started, Calum? When is your like? Are you like going ahead? Like, have you started to spend anything? Are you gonna do stuff now, or have you got any? It's only 1 year.
Yeah, well, I've not even received the money into my Australian bank account yet because I got to transfer it over. I've put the money into TransferWise to send it here. It's currently with TransferWise, and then I sent $1 from that account to my Australian one. It said it should arrive Wednesday as a test. Like that's what I'm doing, just testing $1 first. If that's done, I'll send the 1,800 over.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, because I don't want to send $1,800 into the middle.
Into the air. Yeah.
That's cool. Gregor, what about yourself now? What is your steps? What are you doing? Have you started?
Yeah, I haven't started, but just kind of like I've got quite a few small, almost like wee business ideas. I think you could trial out on like Etsy and like kind of stores like this. But there's one that I want to try, and I've actually spoken to the owner. So basically, it's like home cinema rentals, and it's a company in Leeds called Home Cinema Leeds, basically. And the guy rents out basically a projector with a screen and a speaker for £100 a night, or £100 for 24 hours. And he's like, I've just seen him like I spoke to him. He's saying like, yes, it takes a while to build up traction and stuff, but once you get that going, he's in a good month, he's doing like 3 to 4 rentals. So there's £400 in a good month. And then obviously, you build it into like other businesses. So I see that you maybe work it into like maybe like Airbnbs, or you kind of go down that approach where you can be like, you're renting out your property, like here, like have a cinema for the evening for your guests, or you do it for maybe like glamping, stuff like that, where you can do it outside. The guy does outside cinemas as well, so he gets one of those like big inflatable screens. The issue with this is like, to get the equipment is quite expensive. It's like a projector and the screen and stuff. You want it to be high quality, like at least 4K, so then you make it worthwhile. Like if you pay £100 for a projector, you want it to be the best one. You're not going to go, because you could just go and buy one for like 200, right? So that's the kind of like weighing up ground of maybe finding a second-hand one, which is maybe relatively new but cheaper, and then get a screen, stuff like that.
Do you still have yours?
Yeah, but it's no longer working.
Okay.
I mean, it works, but the HDMI connector, when you put it in, some of the pins maybe don't match up, and the screen goes like red. It's got a huge hint to it, which isn't ideal. But yeah, absolutely love it. So being able to sell that in Edinburgh, which is, I think a really good market, there's population density, there's people here who have money, and you can set up relatively simple, I think. So yeah, that's an idea. I think I'll be working on that. Jamie, what are you doing?
Okay, we'll go back on that. Actually, sorry, that sounds a really good idea.
Right.
Out of business ideas that I've heard, Gregor's notorious for starting businesses that make no logical sense. From
Like a car washing company that doesn't wash cars.
Yeah, and gives them out for free. Make no
Like
money.
I was testing the idea, and car washing is a massive market. So if it did work and had traction, it would have been a good idea. But I tested it, cost me very little. And the way I tested it, to get people to actually let me wash a car, which are expensive things that people own, I done it for free. So that was my logic. And I got some market research, I got some feedback. And I don't know if I told you, but I set up like a Facebook page and I have a survey there. And then I emailed out all these different companies in Click Manager, being like, "Oh, can you answer my survey?" to try and develop the idea for on-site business estates sort of thing.
Yeah.
And every so often I get an email through being like, "Oh, somebody's answered your Survey Monkey survey," and it's basically just a list of like what names would be suitable, how much would you pay, would you like a subscription service for washing your car, all these different questions. So I feel like I'm gathering intel every month on the idea as well. So I mean, it is what it is.
Well, that's interesting, and I like your idea for the projector, Gregor. I think that could do quite well around Edinburgh. Only thing, you need a vehicle maybe to get about with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's the enterprise car rental as well here.
Yeah.
So initially I was like, yeah, enterprise car rental, it's like, £6 an hour. So I'm not going to be going far. I could just rent that for an hour, but not anymore.
Do you want to let the audience into what you're
Yeah.
coming home to see?
So that's well, I've been fortunate enough to be kind of not gifted, I guess, use my grand's car, which is a Suzuki Alto, I think.
Yeah.
Jamie,
1.1.
1.1 automatic. I don't know the years, probably early 2000s. Done
I'll get a photo.
18,000. Yeah, we got a full swap. For our podcast listeners, not on YouTube. Yeah, small kind of boxy Suzuki early 2000 car, done hardly any miles, and automatic. It's going to be like a little go-kart, getting from A to B. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
I had a wee show of it driving it the other day, and it's a cardboard box with some wheels on it, and if you go past 45 miles an hour, you've got a high chance one wheel's just going to go flying past you. So, all the best of luck, Gregor, with that when you come home and take a hold, because sitting that on the motorway, I would be having a heart attack halfway on getting onto that motorway and trying to scream it up to 60 miles an hour. It will be a great laugh.
I guess the good thing is that it's automatic, so it'll just be even easier to drive despite its downfalls.
Yeah, true.
So what are you doing, Joey? Tell us.
So I got the money obviously the same day, and I have already spent over £435 of it. So I spent £430 yesterday on a set of golf clubs.
Wait, was that? I thought it was an April Fool's when you posted that.
No.
You're genuinely doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. And wait,
So
is this to flip?
What?
Is this to flip?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were using the golf clubs as like to play with, to get better, and then because that's what you said, right?
No.
I thought you were going to buy the golf clubs, use them because they're better golf clubs, and then use that money that you win from golf competitions to as a part of the challenge.
No. No. I put a joke in saying that I was going to buy golf clubs and then use them to win competitions and then flip them. But no, that's not a thing. Beforehand of doing this, Calum McEwan would have known that I like to buy, sell things, flip it, make a little bit of money on things. I've done it before other camera equipment, things like that. And so I decided to actually have a look on the marketplace. Basically, I look for anything on Facebook Marketplace that I think's good value. And the way I do it is look, find a product, check eBay. So what's it selling for on eBay? And if I can get it less than the eBay price, I know if I can't sell it on Facebook Marketplace, resell it on Facebook Marketplace at that price, I'll stick it on eBay. Obviously, lose a bit because of PayPal and eBay's fees, but I make sure that I've got enough margin that I can make some profit. So yesterday afternoon, I went to see a set of golf clubs that I spent £430 on, which was a bag, 3 wedges, a full set of TaylorMade R7 irons, R11S driver, Cobra 3-wood, putter, ping putter, and an electric trolley, all for £430. Absolute steal. He gave me a load of golf balls with it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what margin I can make on it. I've already calculated what sort of margin on it, but I'm going to leave it until I will update you on sort of what the figure is. But
are you selling the items individually, or are you selling it as a package?
well, I kind of brought them home thinking actually I was going to sell them individually, but by Saturday afternoon I might have sold them.
You got interest already?
Well, I brought them home and I showed Dad, and Dad went, "Oh."
No way.
So, lucky enough, our dad is actually going to take them out this round. Our first ever medal on this Saturday, and Dad is going to be taking the clubs I've just bought and playing with them this Saturday to see how he does with them, and I might have them sold by Saturday afternoon.
Even if Dad's playing bad, you're like, oh, look at that golf club, that's good. Oh, look at that shot, that's amazing. I'd be like, Dad, that's not a good club for you, Dad. That doesn't suit your swing. I won't be helping your kids.
But yeah, so my plan is, because of I've recently bought the van and stuff, is seeing that Facebook Marketplace, buy and sell stuff. That's my sort of like strategy now. I will put some money into an investment, and my plan is to put a percentage of the money into an investment account and use it to buy some shares and see if I can increase the amount that way as well. But my main strategy now is currently flipping and buying and selling stuff.
Nice, that sounds good. I think we've done a really nice summary of what we're doing with this challenge, and we're kind of touching on quite a long episode. So let's wrap this up. Yeah.
Calum, have you got any sort of last remarks for us? Anything you want to talk to us about? Let us know. Obviously, you've listened to some of our other podcasts, or a fact of the day for us.
Well, one thing I was thinking about doing with money was doing the martingale strategy with roulette, which essentially is that you bet $1, you lose it, you bet $2, you lose it, you bet 4, you lose it, you bet 8, you lose it, you bet 16, you lose it, you bet 32, you lose it, you bet 64, you lose it, you bet 128, you lose it, you bet 256, you lose it, you bet 512, you lose that, you bet 1,028, and then hopefully by that point you've won it, and then you got your money back.
You've only got 1,000 though. Every time you lose the money, you've got to.
You get up to 500, Calum, and then.
Well, the idea is that it's very rare for you to lose that many times in a row. That the money, it should be stacked in your favor. But
Okay.
I've done it. I've wrote I know a bit of Python programming, and I've done it in there. And say if I do 1,000 rounds, no, if I do 100 games, and in each game I do 1,000 rounds of them, it's roughly 50-50. So if I start at $1,800, it's 50-50. I either lose it all or I come out with $5,000. And I'm kind of thinking, it's Dad's money, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing about it for all of us. It's like it's no risk. Where none of us actually have to be like, end of the day really worry about it. So even if you made a small amount and you just left it at that, at least you've made something, and you don't have to, or you can take the more risk and go down that route and gamble it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, how much do you guys think you'll make?
I would like to think that more than double it.
Yeah, Gregor.
I'm thinking the same. It'd be really good to double it. I mean, what's good as well is like you can say you double it, but see, you make money, right? We're saying like past 6 months you doubled it already. You've got $2,000 now to like buy bigger things and flip it or whatever you're doing, Jimmy. You've got $2,000 now to start something that's like that project that you're doing, Cam, with the printer where you need more money. So it's like you can build it up. It's like you do one thing and then that's it for the year.
Yeah.
So,
but my thought is then go buy cars.
yeah. Flip cars.
Flip cars.
We've done that.
Bigger margins than that.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
I think you were going down the free route on, searching on like Facebook, like what's free, and then I like that idea as well.
Yeah, I've still got that. I still look. I just look at everything on Facebook Marketplace, but the idea is like you get furniture for free. I thought buy some like old furniture or like tables that are like just clearly needing like freshened up, sand them down, and either do like because you can do like wrapping the top layer and then just paint like bottom the legs and stuff like that. So it's kind of like one of the ideas I've had is like doing like basically reusing and redesigning sort of stuff like that, but currently with time frame with doing uni work and things like that just doesn't work. So
yeah, cool.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming, Calum. Thank you for being on this episode. Me and Gregor, obviously, because on the other side of the world, me and Gregor got up early, and Calum is in his nighttime. He's finished his work and is at home.
Wasn't working today. Today is a day off. I've got Friday off.
No.
Got Easter weekend, so everyone's off Friday, which was a wee bit annoying because I woke up this morning. Jen's like, "Oh, I really want some hot cross buns," so went to the shop. Shop was shut. The only place open was a Chinese bakery, but they don't make Chinese food. But what they do is banh mi. And if you haven't had a banh mi roll yet, you should have one. They're amazing. They're good.
I need to have a look what that is.
Oh, I've got an interesting fact for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in fact,
the tide doesn't move, but the earth moves into the tide. Because think about it, the sun is pulling the tide out, like it's making the water bulge out. And as the earth rotates from night to day, the bulge stays forward and the earth moves into the bulge and it becomes high tide. And it moves away from the bulge of water that points towards the sun and becomes low tide. And then you've got the moon. So you've got this bulge pointing to the sun, you've got a bulge pointing to the moon, and the earth rotates into those bulges.
I had no idea. I thought it was
I've heard of it. So I've heard of the moon. I've heard the moon one. I didn't know the sun.
Well, the sun and the moon both attract the water. The moon is a lot closer, but the distance, the gravitational field strength of the moon, for its size and distance away from us, is closely to the sun and the distance away from us. So the sun's more like bigger and got more mass, but it's further away. But the moon's a lot closer, but a lot less mass. So they both have bulges. Ideally, you want two big bulges, and it's quite bad when they overlap because then you only got one.
Double bulge.
Yeah. So two big bulges is what you want, not like one. You want two big ones.
Two big ones.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you, Calum, for coming along to this episode. Hope you've enjoyed coming along, and we'll get you on again. Obviously, you are the McEwan brother. I don't know if you want to become you want to become regular on it.
Yeah, Calum, we'll get you on more often because we need your insight and stupidity.
I'll just speak to my manager, and I'm sure she can fit you in.
That Jen?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Okay,
Right.
well, perfect. That was a good episode. Hope everyone enjoyed this. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
And
thanks for listening.
No worries. Thanks for inviting me. It's been a real honor, and it's good speaking to my brothers again and being invited on the web podcast that they've never mentioned about me before. But I feel really honored that I can finally make it and be part of this family occasion.
Great. Cheers. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.